Hello and welcome. This is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach, and today I want to share with you how to determine that you're not alone and learn how to connect with your spirit guides. Now, before I get started, I just want to ask you to don't forget to like this video because it helps my algorithm and helps me to get found by other viewers. Don't forget to subscribe to this video because it also helps my algorithm. And don't forget to watch towards the end because I'm going to put out, I've got a surprise for you. So, that being said, again, how to connect with your spirit guides. Now, there's two ways to do this, and I'm going to share this with you. Actually, I'll share one with you to get started. One of the ways in which I connect with my spirit guides, and a lot of you have been able to do this, is when you go to bed. And when I say that, I don't mean remember this before you fall asleep. When you go to bed, you say you're going to go to bed in like 2 or 3 hours, and you're brushing your teeth. Think about asking a question of your spirit guides. Your guides are always around you. Sometimes you feel their energy. Sometimes you ask questions, but you're not sure. This is one way to specifically tune in and tap in. Now, when we go to bed, our spirit guides enter our dreams. It's like showtime for them, like Broadway, hair and makeup. They go into costume and they enter our dreams. And one of the reasons why is they love communicating with us. They communicate with us when we're awake, but a lot of times our ego does not accept what we're receiving. When we're asleep, our ego is asleep, so we're more apt to receive information. And that's one of the reasons why they come into our dreams, because it's an easy way to communicate with you. You see a unicorn in your dreams, you accept that it's a unicorn. You're not judging that unicorns don't exist. You come from a non-judgmental place, especially when you're asleep. You're more open and receptive. So one of the things which you can do is ask a question. Again, don't think, oh, I got to remember before I fall asleep. No, ask a question before you go to bed, and knowing that you're not going to go to bed for hours. But then keep a notebook by your bed, because when you wake up, it's going to be very vivid and real. And then you go to brush your teeth and you forget like within 5 minutes. So that's why keeping a notebook by your bed is fun and very informative. You could even think of it as a sleep journal to kind of dialogue, like what's the question that I asked and what's the answer that I received. Also, the second way in which to do this is when you're awake. And I mean this in terms of like you just woke up. You haven't had a cup of coffee yet. Your brain is a bit fuzzy. So ask a question, because what comes to you at this time is not your ego, because your ego's still in bed. It's your guide speaking to you. And you're going to notice the distinction in the tone. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out. The distinction in the tone between what you would project and what they're sending to you. The other day I did this. I talk to my guides all the time, but Sunday morning I had a very long conversation with them, to the point that it was just like, okay, this is a lot of talking and I haven't even had coffee yet. Like I felt that I wouldn't say not in control. It was just too much dialogue for me at that time in the morning. But the point was, I knew it wasn't me, because I was focused on, I need some coffee to understand what you're sharing with me. I'm not awake. I'm not alert. Can we circle back after I make a pot? But I was very conscious of the fact that my brain was not awake, and they were rapidly sharing information with me for my better good. It was all positive, but it was just like, okay, that was a lot. But the point was, I clearly knew that this was not me just making up stuff or projecting. There's a way to understand the difference. And I think I shared this with you guys a while ago. I was on the fence trying to determine whether or not I was going to purchase something. And as I was like debating it back and forth, I just heard in my head, what are you, chicken? And it was my guides basically knowing that if I took this opportunity, I had no excuse. Like this was a good opportunity for me to purchase, if I did not, my not purchasing it would have been just an excuse uh, of my not succeeding in the next chapter of my business. And that's when they said that to me. And I'm like, no, you're right. I am chicken. I'm afraid to purchase it because when you put yourself out there, that is that's a scary thing. But sometimes not putting yourself out there is even scarier. It's like the at least you tried kind of aspect, as opposed to the I shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of mentality. A lot of us are fearful of opportunities because it brings us further along our path. And as opposed to taking it, we're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that because that's just moving forward. And I'd rather stay here and be safe and not move forward. But again, I divert for a minute, but this is back to talking to your guides. That's the beautiful thing about what I do. It reaffirms for me that we're not alone. And when you're looking at this, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, you're a psychic and you're clairvoyant. You've got gifts. We can't do this. Yes, you can. I had a client last summer. She had come to New York, and her and her grandmother were very close in life. They would talk every day. And she missed it when she passed. And I told her those things that I shared with you about talking to her in the morning and asking a question at night. And her girlfriend messaged me a couple months later and said, thank you so much. She talks to her all the time. And same thing, I had a gentleman who booked a session with me, and his grandmother showed up in the dream, because she knew that he booked a session with me. It was like, now I got a chance to talk to you. But she was very excited. The spirit was very excited for her grandson to, enter this line of communication. But the thing is, none of this stuff is random. Our guides talk to us all the time. Say, for example, you have a bad back, and all of a sudden you're hearing every single person talk to you about heated yoga. To the point you're like, is heated yoga trending on Twitter? Like, what's happening? No, it's because your guides are trying to tell you to go to heated yoga to help your back. There are times, and they call them prankster spirits. Like, you're looking for your keys and they're moving them around. Like, they have a fun personality, sense of humor. They are there because they're watching over you. We all have spirit guides. But the thing is, you can talk to them. They speak to you, but you just don't hear them. You mark it off as random or coincidence or just any of those things. I can't tell you how many clients I get who come to me because they have a gift and they're like, now what? Or they think they have a gift. And they're actually right in both instances. The thing is, talking to the other side is available and easy to do for everybody. And in the future, more people are going to be activating their spiritual gifts. A lot of people have been tuning in the last decade, and even more so as we go forward. And it's going to get more fine-tuned and specialized. That being said, now is the time for you to open up your eye and connect and talk about that. Here's the thing, and in the comment section, share with me what your gifts are and what you feel your spiritual gifts are, and how you would like to develop yours and fine-tune your special gift. Because I'm going to be working on a program, that's not that far out from now, to help you tap in and master your gifts in a very, I can't even get the words out, in a very special community of like-minded individuals. That's what I'm going to be doing. So here's the thing. In the comment section, I would love to hear what your gift is. I also put in there, I'll put a link to a private Facebook group in which I will be sharing more details about this, so that when the program opens up, you are first on the list for it. And also, don't forget to share this video with other friends or family that you feel like would benefit from this. I can't tell you how many friends and family members who are interested in the spirit world. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to necessarily have a gift. You just have to be curious. That's how I started. I just loved everything spiritual. And it kind of unfolded into my, and it didn't happen overnight, it unfolded into my realizing I had a gift. I thought I was just lucky or coincident or what have you. And that's a story for another day. But it all starts with the curiosity, and it goes from there. And being around like-minded people just trigger other ideas and other thoughts. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm going to start doing group events, live group events, once we can actually travel live. And they're going to be held in the New York area to start. But one of the things that I noticed about when you put together people in groups like this, when they're spiritually aligned, it opens up the energy, and it's almost like it's stronger. For lack of a better word, the energy is stronger. I cannot explain it, but you can feel it. I've done group sessions like this where I mentally can be exhausted, but physically could go for hours. It's like the spirit guides energize me to continue, even though I'm like, oh, I need a nap. They're like, no, we can keep going. So again, this is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach. Don't forget to put the comments in the comments section. Don't forget to put the link for the private Facebook group, because I'd love to see you there. And I want to hear from you about your gifts, because I'm going to be putting together a program soon, and I would love for you to be part of it. So take care. Oh, and see you on the next video.